Hey everyone, this is the Shadow Reader, and I would like to welcome you to my first ever Top 10 Countdown. The year 2015 was a big one for me. It was my first year as a narrator, and during the year, I uploaded over 100 videos and recorded close to 110 creepypastas, some of which were lost forever, thanks failed hard drive. Since this is the last day of 2015, I think that now is as good a time as any to look back on the year that was, and some of the best creepypastas I had the honor of narrating for you guys this year. So, here are my top 10 favorite creepypastas that I narrated in 2015. But before we get started, I want to go over a few basic rules. Rule number 1. There will be no holders on this list. As many of you know, I have uploaded quite a few videos on the Holders series, but because those are all entries in one series and are all parts of a larger story altogether, I feel that it's a bit unfair to rank individual entries of that story along with other complete creepypastas. Also, not all holders are created equal, and I feel that ranking the best holders could one day constitute an entirely separate list. Number 2. This list is my personal opinion on my favorite creepypastas that I've read for you guys this year. All of you may have different opinions on this matter, and please feel free to voice those opinions in the comment section, but also please be respectful. Just because a creepypasta I narrated this year didn't make this list does not mean that it's a bad pasta. I like all of the pastas that I narrated this year, and I wouldn't narrate one that I don't like. So, if you're a fan or the author of a pasta I narrated that didn't make this list, please don't be offended. It was no easy task narrowing this list down. Also, one final warning. There are spoilers for the pastas in this list ahead. If you want to listen to any of them that are included in this list, I'll leave a link to the narration of each one in the description. So without further delay, let's get started with number 10. Number 10. Channel Infinity. We start with the ritual pasta that I uploaded back in August. This pasta details how you can use television to solve all of your problems. According to this ritual, there is a secret channel that can be accessed on any television by performing a very specific set of instructions and answering a series of questions. Once you reach this channel, known as Channel Infinity, you will have the opportunity to have some of your deepest questions answered. However, you will never be able to speak of what you learned from this ritual, and you may only access Channel Infinity a total of 4 times in your life. The most dangerous part of this ritual lies in the possibility that you may find yourself being sucked into an alternate dimension following the series of questions. But if you can overlook that tiny risk, this ritual seems relatively safe. Don't try it though. Number 9. The Suicide Show. The Suicide Show is a deep web-themed creepypasta I uploaded back in September. When I first heard this pasta narrated, it was in a True Scary Stories video, and believe me, I'm very happy to learn that this is nothing more than a fictional creepypasta, at least to my knowledge. This pasta tells the story of a college student who visits the deep web with the intention of writing a paper on internet subcultures. The protagonist stumbles upon a forum called Enthusiast of Suicide, where their interest is piqued by posters discussing something known as the Suicide Show. After discovering a link to the show, our protagonist finds themselves watching a morbid game show in which the contestants kill themselves on camera and are rated by a panel of judges on how well they perform the action. After being severely traumatized, the protagonist stops watching the show and decides to drop their paper on internet subcultures. The scariest thing about this pasta is its realism, as it's entirely possible that a gruesome game show like this actually exists somewhere in the depths of the deep web. The deep web is a scary place. I recommend staying away from it. Number 8. Promises. Promises is one of those rare pastas that delivers just the right amount of creepy and feels. I narrated this one back in July at the request of my good friend Your Perfect Nightmare. By the way, you should totally check out her channel if you haven't. And I absolutely love the premise. Promises tells the tale of a young boy who experiences the death of his father, to whom he is extremely close. The father's death causes the boy and his mother to have to move to a new home, in which the boy deals with strange sounds and menacing shadows at night. At the story's climax, the boy is finally forced to confront his tormentor, but just as things seem bleak for our protagonist, his father reappears, keeping his promise of always being there for his son, and proving that love goes far beyond the grave. It's a real tearjerker, so go ahead and listen to it if you want to feel all kinds of frightened, sad, and joyous. Number 7. Zorax. What's this, you say? A good creepypasta about this subject where someone doesn't drown? Zorax was the second ever non-holders creepypasta I ever uploaded, back in March. It tells the story of a young boy living in a world ravaged by a deadly, incurable disease that seems to affect everyone except children. The boy is one of many children gathered by a group of adults known as the Day Crew, who intend to study the children in order to find a cure for the deadly disease known as Zorax. Over the time the group of children is in the care of the Day Crew, numerous tests are done on them, which cause horrible side effects. At the end of the story, the group of children are left to fend for themselves, and we the reader are left to discover the truth about the world in which our protagonist lives. This is truly one of my favorite endings to any creepypasta. Number 6. 11 Miles. Do you own a motor vehicle? Is there something that you want very badly? Well, if you can spare the gas money for 11 miles of driving, whatever your heart desires could be yours. One of my all-time favorite ritual pastas, 11 Miles is a set of instructions on how to obtain your deepest wish by driving a motor vehicle through extremely dangerous and potentially soul-shattering conditions on an 11-mile-long stretch of road late at night. I narrated this tale back in July, and it has the distinction of being the first ritual pasta ever uploaded to my channel. If you have a car, a deep desire, and a death wish, this could be a fun way to spend your New Year's Eve. Heck, time even stops during this ritual, so you can still be home in time to watch the ball drop at midnight with your new sacks of cash or bricks of gold. Number 5. Vermilion City Construction Project. We come to the midpoint of our list with a brilliant pokepasta that I uploaded back in August. Throughout the year, I narrated a total of 4 pokepastas, but for this list, I tried to include only one in the interest of diversity. Yeah, I didn't mention that as one of the rules at the beginning. Sue me. I feel that this pokepasta is the best of the 4, because it takes such a simple aspect of the games and develops it into this huge conspiracy theory with great evidence and background to support it. In here I thought that the man with his Machop was just filler for a blank area of the game. Leave it to the internet to find a reason for every little detail in a game. Number 4. The Showers. Let me start off by saying that The Showers is one of the most underrated creepypastas on the internet. Seriously, you've got mediocre at best stories about a certain hedgehog going on a murder spree, and a dumb kid who cuts his own eyelids out, getting a huge amount of attention from most of the internet, and this fantastic story is just sitting there in obscurity. Now, it does have very good reviews on the Creepypasta wiki, but like many good things, not enough people truly appreciate it. Uploaded as my Halloween special, The Showers tells the story of a recent college graduate, Jack, who goes on a trip with his friend to a haunted location that he learned of from a beloved teacher years earlier. While at this location, dubbed The Showers by his former teacher, Mr. Mays, Jack encounters truly terrifying sights, barely escaping with his life. Perhaps the best aspect of this pasta is not the horror, but the sheer brilliance of the writing itself. Don't get me wrong, it has some very scary moments and great build-up, but the level of character development, interaction, and the overall flow of the story is among the best of any creepypasta or horror story on the internet, and the level of mystery as to what the Showers truly are and how Jack escaped them are what really separates this pasta from others, and push it into the upper echelon of my all-time favorites. Number 3. My Creation. Video games are one of my favorite genres for creepypastas, but the good ones are usually hard to find. The genre has been pretty saturated by stories like Ben Drowned, which is a good pasta, just a little overdone, and that one about the hedgehog, which has paved the way for a lot of mediocre and cliché pastas to be written. Here, we have the opposite of that. My Creation, which I uploaded on October 23rd, tells the story of a computer programmer who makes his own life simulator game. However, his simulator works too well, and leads to startling results, and generally makes us question the world around us. A creepypasta, especially one of the video game genre that can make us think deeply, is an extremely rare occurrence, and My Creation does an excellent job of this. Number 2. The Devil Game. The runner-up on my list, and the narration that closed out the final week of my month-long October special, The Devil Game is perhaps the greatest ritual pasta ever written. As the title implies, The Devil Game provides a set of instructions for how an individual can communicate with and play a certain game with the devil in order to obtain something that he or she wants. However, when dealing with the devil, nothing is ever as it seems, and as such, the Devil Game poses a number of dangers to any who dare to play it. So please, don't do it. What's unique about the Devil Game is that in addition to detailing a very complex ritual, it also contains a brilliant twist at the end, which truly gave me chills the first time that I read this pasta. Even if ritual pastas aren't your thing, you should give this one a shot. Number 1. The Holders. Nah, I'm just joking. I'm not that much of a troll. The true number 1 on this countdown, and my favorite story that I narrated during 2015, is The Pastel Man by Vincent Vinacava. I'm a very big fan of Vincent Vinacava. He is one of, if not the best creepypasta author on the internet, and several of his stories are among my favorites not only in the creepypasta genre, but the entire horror genre itself. Just about everything he writes is excellent, and it was an honor to narrate even one of his stories. Hey, this guy even made the stupid kid who cut his eyelids off into a good story. The Pastel Man tells the story of Sean, who witnesses his father, the only family he has, have a heart attack. As his father lay dying on the floor, a horrific monster, which Sean dubs the Pastel Man due to its skin color, appears and offers to save Sean's father, provided that Sean allow the Pastel Man to kill another person in his place. Sean agrees to the conditions and tells the Pastel Man to kill Walter Flanagan, a football player who has bullied him. After saving Sean's father, the Pastel Man tells Sean that he must summon the monster in Walter's presence in order to complete their bargain, or else Sean will be the one who is killed in his father's place. After his father is brought into stable condition, Sean tracks down Walter, and after struggling within himself, he summons the Pastel Man, who proceeds to tear Walter into pieces. The story then picks up several years later and finds Sean working late one night. He receives a phone call that his wife and young son were in a car accident and that his wife is dead and his son is in critical condition. The Pastel Man then appears to Sean again and informs him that he can save his son in exchange for the life of the driver who caused the car accident. After arriving at the hospital, Sean witnesses the Pastel Man use his magic to save his son from death, and sets off to summon the beast in the presence of the man who caused the accident. Upon entering his hospital room, Sean realizes that the man is just a teenager who had been driving drunk. He sees Walter in the young man, and can't go through with his end of the bargain. In the end, Sean accepts the fact that the Pastel Man will kill him for backing out of their deal, but he is happy because his son will survive. And once he dies, Sean will be free of the guilt he has felt for allowing the Pastel Man to kill Walter. Not only is the Pastel Man excellently written, but it is a genuinely touching story of redemption. Just as Promises did, the Pastel Man provides a great balance of both creepy and feels, and in my opinion, is one of the greatest creepypastas ever written. Not only is that delicate balance executed to near perfection, but Sean's character development is superb. This pasta easily deserves to be atop this list. Well, there we go. My 10 favorite creepypastas that I narrated in 2015. Hopefully 2016 will bring more great pastas with it, as I'm looking forward to making many more videos this year. I want to thank you all so much for subscribing to me this year, and for continuing to support me. I love reading all your comments and seeing all your likes and dislikes. Seriously, dislikes don't even upset me, they make me smile. I still prefer likes though. 200 subscribers is way more than I ever thought I would get, and I just hope you all know how much I appreciate each one of you. Also, huge thank yous to everyone who has collaborated with me this past year. I've made some really good friends through YouTube, and I'm just thankful for everything that's happened in 2015. Except the hard drive on my computer failing. I could have done without that. So, all of you, please enjoy the last few hours of 2015. Here's to another great year in 2016.